Hello! In this lecture, we'll continue our presentation of the built-in functional interfaces that Java provides with Java 8, with Predicate and BiPredicate. A predicate is used when you want to perform some sort of check for an argument. BiPredicate is the same, but working with two arguments. Both of them are often used for filtering and matching, especially Predicate. Their single abstract method is called test. Both interfaces have three default methods: AND, OR, and negate. Predicate also has two static methods: not and is equal. Predicate has a single generic type, T, for the one argument, where BiPredicate has two types, T and U, because the two arguments may be of a different type. Again, predicate is often used for filtering and matching, because its single abstract method returns a boolean. As I said, both interfaces declare three default methods. They allow you to build complex predicates. The AND method takes another instance of predicate as an argument and returns a composed predicate that represents a short-circuiting local AND of this predicate and another. The OR also takes another instance of predicate as an argument, but returns a composed predicate that represents a short-circuiting local OR of this predicate and another. Negate returns a predicate that represents the logical negation of this predicate. Now, BiPredicate's AND, OR, and negate methods work in the same manner, but their return type is BiPredicate as well as the argument they expect. AND and OR methods will throw a no pointer exception if the argument other is null. That's for both classes. When using AND OR, if performing this operation throw an exception, the test operation of the other argument will not be executed. Now, on top of that, the static methods predicate declares two. Predicate also declares two static methods, which are not present in BiPredicate. The not method takes an instance of predicate and returns a predicate that is the negation of the argument supplied. It will throw a null pointer exception if the argument is null. The isEqual method takes an object argument and returns a predicate that tests if the two arguments are equal, according to their object equals method. The argument targetRef can be null. Those two are considered syntactic sugar and were added for convenience, so we won't bother to dig deep into them, especially the second one. Now let's go to the demonstration. As a start, I've declared three predicates that work with string. Pred method ref and pred lambda1 checks if a string is empty, while pred lambda2 checks if a string starts with the letter capital A. Below, I save the result from those tests into a variable. If everything works as expected, the result of both should be true, based on the arguments which I am providing. Then, below, I create some composed predicate using AND and OR default methods. On line 17, we create a predicate that will check if the string provided is first not empty and then if starts with A. This will be false, as you might expect, based on the argument provided. Then we check if the string is empty or if it starts with A, which it does, so we expect true. Finally, negate the pred lambda1 test, which checks if the string is empty, but when negating it, we actually check if the string is not empty, so we should get false. Then below, from line 28 to line 30, we declare three BiPredicates that work again with two string arguments. The first one is a method reference. We reference the method contains of the string class. So what will happen is that it will check if the first argument contains the second. You can rewrite it using a lambda, like you can see in the comment after that, right here. Then I've decided to write a simple lambda which just checks if the first argument has more characters than the second. And finally, we check if the first argument starts with the second. This could also be rewritten with a method reference. Again, I've commanded it after the line. You can choose which is better for you while coding. I'm just showing you the possibilities here. I've decided also to make 3 composed BiPredicates. In the B and test, we will save the result from checking if the first argument starts with the second and if it is lengths greater. In this case, both are true, so we should get true. In B or test, we check if the first argument has more chars than the second or if it starts with it. Here both are false, so yeah, the end result will be false. And finally, we negate the test if Black Mamba contains snake, so here we will get true, as it doesn't. Let's run the program and see what's going to happen. As expected, the first 2 tests are true. Then, from the composed predicate, we get false, true, false, which was also correct, given the provided arguments, of course. If you try this code with different arguments, you might expect different results. And finally, in the composed BiPredicates, we get true, false, true, which again is the correct and expected behavior. So our code works well.
For more details, check the link in the description. Learn with Whizlabs. Success certified.